Elves of a small and diminutive stature are common in mythology from Iceland and the British Isles. These elves are closely related to leprechauns and fairies. A Christianized legend says that elves came about after Eve ate from the garden. She was ashamed of her naked children when God came for a visit, so she hid them from him. God was angered by this and made the children disappear, making them invisible. Since elves are difficult to see due to being invisible or small and magical, they became tricksters known for stealing small things, spoiling milk, and giving birthmarks. They are also known for causing illnesses and for the arrows and small tools archaeologists discover in areas where the mythology is common. Nowadays, these elves belong in Santa's workshop. They sit on children's shelves and tell Santa what the kids want. This idea of Santa's helper started in the early 1800s in The Night Before Christmas by Clement Clarke Moore. Their popularity increased, and now, in modern day, they are integral to the Christmas tale. And Santa always needs them, despite being magical. I guess it has limits. I hope you enjoy my tale of elves working with Santa. Steve, the lead elf at Santa's workshop, was panicking. They had 2 hours before the elves all left a party. And there's still so much work to do. A bench was being made, toy soldiers were being painted with quick-dry paint, and ribbon. They had run out of ribbon. How does the most magical center in December run out of ribbon? Who knows? Their magic was refusing to conjure ribbon, so they were using boxes, tissue paper, and colorful tape. Tape! What would your children say about Santa using tape? Oh, no, no, no. The fresh pine underfoot was releasing a constant smell of pine and peppermint, trying its best to relax all of the panicky elves. It wasn't working on Steve. Steve began to bite his nails as a group of herd elves and brine elves approached each other. How was this happening? They were supposed to be kept as far away from each other as possible. Steve ran over to the soon-to-be disaster. He attracted the attention of one of his assistants and pointed to the brine, sending a thought towards the elf. Keep them busy. Keep them busy. I'm going after the herds. This would be so much easier if the brine were not so easily jealous. They had been the most popular elves for centuries. Then the herd tribe got the Icelandic human government to recognize their tribe as sacred, making humans stop all construction on herd territory. The herd had been messing with a human construction site for months before this law was proposed and enacted. What had made them so popular was that they were not seen doing it. The brine had made several humans in the past make such laws, but they had done it while being seen. Oh no, oh no. He caught the herd, just as his assistant caught the brine. How goes thee today, Raish? Steve nodded at the lower-ranking elves, acknowledging their presence, but looked at their leader. Raish looked at Steve in surprise. Working. Oh, brilliant. Steve had forgotten that the herds are brief and to the point. Are you not supposed to send servants to work with you when going into the workshop center? Ray rolled her eyes. I hate your stupid rule. It makes the work take so much longer. How likely is it that the brine tribe will come to the center at the exact moment that my tribe goes to the center? There are 20 tribes present, right? Yes, there are, but it is busy right now, and more likely that the brine will come to the center with you. Please go to your side, and I will ensure that you get a bonus written into your contract for this year. Ray tilted her head and grinned. Steve had hit the mark. She spoke. That would be nice. It would be nicer if we got a bonus and a new contract for next year, too. Steve sighed. I will see what I can do. I assure you, I can get you a bonus for this year. Now please go back to your department, and I will bring you what you need. Very well. I will need more stuffing and tape. Rainbow unicorn tape, if you don't mind. Coming right up. Steve watched as Ray and the rest of the herds she had taken with her turned around and walked back to their department. He took a moment to breathe, smelling the wood of his homeland. He could not wait to go back. It had been 3 months. That is all the contract wanted. 3 months of an elf's life in exchange for a little more magic when you went back to your home. For some reason, the universe dictated that bigger creatures got more magic. And for an even more unfair reason, Santa Claus was given even more magic than that. This had led many creatures to ask Santa for some of it. He had gotten tired of their requests, so he had made a deal with his favorite magical creatures, the elves. If they worked for him in the human holiday of Christmas, he would give them more magic. They had said yes, and the contract had been signed. Now, Santa's magic was human-sized by the end of the year, and other mythical creatures left him alone. It seemed to be working for all parties involved. Everyone just got a little homesick by the end. Steve shook his head and got back to work. Too much standing around wasn't going to get all these gifts completed. He delivered the stuffing and unicorn tape to Ray as they were completing the last of the stuffed creatures. Good. Very good. Now the last of them would be completed on time, right? He took out his red and white wooden pocket watch. 40 minutes should be enough, hopefully. Time to set up the party. Steve sent the thought to all of his helpers. He watched them walk out of the workshop, and he followed them into a perfect little town. It was a town for Santa and the elves. It had few houses, several snow-covered mounds where the really wild elves liked to sleep. Oh, and lights. Christmas lights everywhere. Some were colored, decorating the trees and the houses in a hodgepodge that seemed to make the homes more beautiful. Steve figured that the lights reminded the elves of fairies. They were Santa's invention, after all, designed to make the elves feel more at home. Steve's helpers were running around the snow-laden town carrying tables, chairs, and food. He began to run around with them, setting up kegs of hot cider, mead, and hot chocolate. The wind began to blow slightly. Steve looked at his watch. 10 minutes. He looked up at the wind and spoke to it. You have 10 minutes to blow. If you are not kind, and if you continue after the 10 minutes, I will talk to your father. The wind faltered slightly in acknowledgement. Good, good. The head elf felt the cool, eye-opening breeze blow through the little town as he watched the last of the food hit the table, and his assistant stood at attention, waiting for the contract to be fulfilled. He turned from the waiting feast and entered the workshop once more. Elves were running around in a slight panic, and nothing was on fire. That was good. Steve took in what all the departments were up to, all in under a second. Everything was done, or it would be done, on time. Good, good. He joined the only team who might not finish on time and helped them wrap their candy canes. Everyone liked candy canes. Why did everyone have to like candy canes? But luckily they finished the last of the candy canes with 10 seconds to spare. His team took up the countdown after catching their breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The burlap sack that hung from the wall came to life as the elves cheered. The sack moved around the room, sucking up gifts as it went. The elves began to file out of the workshop to the party. Steve watched the bag move around the room. He found his chair and began to rock in it, enjoying the silence. One of his assistants brought him a mug of hot chocolate. He was known to avoid the party, but his people wanted him to have something from the festivities. With the contract complete, magic flowed into Steve. It filled him to the brim with warmth, and he began to sing Christmas carols as he continued to watch the sack float around the room. Merry Christmas.